We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are doing Panchadasi by Swami Vidyaranya. And we completed chapter 1 last week. And I said that I will give you a brief note on chapter 2 this week. What I decided to do is between now and end of this year, which is December the 13th, we have roughly seven sessions only. And we have finished it. Today is our 90th session, 90. We have done 90 sessions of Panchadasi. Almost like around 2 years we have spent studying this text. And we have another 7 sessions to go before we close this text, and then we start something new next year. What I decided to do is give you a summary of what we have completed and what is the balance to be done. Just a bird's eye view of how this whole text is designed. See, when I do this, you'll get a broad picture of how the whole text is designed. The first thing you should realize is each of this chapter can be studied independently. There is not much of a link between one chapter to the second chapter to the third chapter. There's not much of a link. Broadly speaking, the first 5 chapters are all Viveka Prakaranam. So every chapter ends as Viveka Prakaranam. First 5 chapters. Then the second 5 chapters are all Deepa Prakaranam. So the first 5 chapters broadly are talking about the Sat aspect of Brahman. The second 5 is Deepa. Deepa means light, which means consciousness, Chit aspect. So 5, and the last 5 is bliss, Ananda. So 15 chapters are basically, according to some of the commentators, it talks about Sat-Chit-Ananda, but each chapter can be studied independently. What Vidyaranya has done is he has tried to see how a seeker can realize the truth from the Upanishads. And he has given different ways in each chapter, but broadly speaking, what he has done is Adhyaropa Apavada method. Adhyaropa means superimposition, and Apavada means negation. So as I said, that I will do the summary, which means first I will give a summary of what we have completed. We have done 5 chapters, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 10. So 5 chapters out of 15 we did completely. Then the balanced chapters are 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 11 to 15. So what I intend to do is give you again for the balanced chapters, just a bird's eye view of what they contain. This is what I plan to do as a first phase. Maybe I can complete that today. After that, I will give you a short summary of chapter 2 and a short summary of chapter 11 to 15. So totally there are about 63 slides, which I think I can complete before the 13th of, by the 13th of December, I can probably complete this 63 slides. If I have time, I will get into the fourth topic, which is the chapter 2 verse wise. But I don't think I will have. And even if I have 1 or 2 sessions, I will just introduce chapter 2 as I have given in the notes here. Okay, so I will, for those of you who want to study and this entire chapter 2 completely, if you can write to me, I will send you the full notes of chapter 2. And if you need the summary like what I'm presenting, this whole thing, if you need, write to me, I will send you the full details. Here is only 1 volume is given, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, 5. All this 5 volumes are there for the second chapter. For the second chapter alone, there are 860 pages of notes. Okay. Now, chapter 1 to 10, these are the 5 chapters which we have finished. How many verses are there in each of these chapters? Totally, there are 210. The details are given here. And how many pages of notes which I have finished now? 1,785. So many pages I have finished. Each and every page I have taken up for our talks in the last 89 sessions. And what now I will do is I will give you a summary of all these 5 chapters. First, okay, so what we are doing now, whatever we have completed, I'm just revising them. The first chapter which we just now completed is called Tattva Viveka Prakaranam. The main focus of this chapter was Tattva. The focus was Tattva. What is the Tattva? Tattva means reality. What is the ultimate reality of this entire universe? How do I understand this ultimate reality? So Swami Vidyaranya spent 65 verses in this chapter. And Tattva was defined as Sat-Chit-Ananda. And Sat was taken up first for analysis, then Chit, and then Ananda. So this is the Tattva. Tattva means it is the reality, means it is my own higher nature. It is the nature of this entire universe. It is the nature of the creator also. So Jiva, Jagat, Ishwara. Between these 3, what is common is Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means existence. Anything in the universe exists. The Jiva exists. Ishwara exists. Jagat exists. That existence principle is Sat. Jiva is conscious. So the entire Jagat, when we say exists, it means that it is the nature of that higher self which is appearing as this Jagat now. At all times, the same Sat-Chit-Ananda reality, Tattvam, is there. But it is in two conditions. One is manifest, another is unmanifest. What we are learning is the unmanifest nature of this Sat-Chit-Ananda Swarupa. Manifest condition is what the world is. All of us, we are living in the world. So this is the manifest condition. In the unmanifest condition, it is called as pure existence. In the manifest, what it is conditional existence. Similarly, Chit. What we are experiencing in this world, the Jiva is experiencing is the reflection of that consciousness in their mind. It is conditional. As long as our mind is awake, it will get that reflection. Suppose you go off to sleep, this condition is not there. So this is the manifest, unmanifest condition. So when we talk about the pure consciousness, that is the real nature of Jiva. Then we came to Ananda. The Ananda which we experience in our life is conditional. But what is my nature, real nature, which is always there, according to the scriptures, that nature is blissful. So in this chapter, chapter 1, Swami Vidyaranya tries to bring out the Sat-Chit-Ananda principle. That is the main focus. Then he talked about creation in verse number 10. And then he gave us a method of segregating this Sat-Chit-Ananda from the world, which is called as Anvaya Vyatireka. And for that, he used two methods. One is by taking the 5 koshas and said that the 5 koshas are only a superimposition of that pure Atma. Similarly, he took up the analysis of 3 avasthas: Jagat, waking, dream, and sleep. And he said that all these 3 avasthas are happening where? It is all happening in Atma. Okay, so that was from 37 to 42, a very, very important section. Then Mahavakya analysis, Tattvamasi, was taken up, and a small debate was there. And then the conclusion was that Sat-Chit-Ananda is the ultimate reality. Okay, so this was what we completed in 65 verses in the first chapter. Then there was chapter number 3, which we did before chapter 1. In chapter 3, there were 43 verses. What is the title of this chapter? Panchakosha Viveka Prakaranam. See, in the first chapter, the focus was on Tattvam, Sat-Chit-Ananda. In the second chapter, the focus is on the koshas. Of course, he will talk about the Adhishtanam Brahman also in 7 verses. But the main focus, 26 verses out of 43, was discussing the 5 koshas. Okay? What are the 5 koshas? Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. In the first 10 verses of this chapter, he said that Atma is not any of these 5 koshas. What is the main reasoning he used? He said that koshas are karyam. They are a product. They are changing. They are inert by nature. They are savikaram. They are jadam. And they are anityam. So these 3 conditions tell us that the 5 koshas are not the real self. What about the real self? Real self is called as Brahman. It's just a name. Okay? And this is the reality. So 10 verses talk about the 5 koshas, and then there are 26 verses which will talk about self is not paroksham, but it is aparoksham. Paroksham means it is not very far away. I don't have to go to Vaikuntha and then realize myself. It is here and now. The moment I de-link myself from the 5 koshas, whatever is the remainder, we call it as the self, which is defined in Taittiriya Upanishad as Sat-Chit-Ananda. This, and the third section is Brahman or Chaitanyam. Then it is associated with Maya Shakti. It becomes the Jiva, Jagat, Ishwara. This point is very, very important. What do you mean by this? That pure Brahman, pure I can exist by itself. If I know that pure I am free from the association with the body, mind, and intellect. This is what is called as moksha. So, as seekers, we should try to dwell more on what is this Brahman, what is this Chaitanyam, what is this Sat principle. As you study more and more of the Panchadasi text, of other Upanishads, this particular point becomes more and more clear. So chapter 1 and 3 are very technical in nature, and it is a process to understand the ultimate truth. You may ask, why do we need all these technical terms? Why do we need Adhyaropa, Apavada, Anvaya, Vitireka? Why all this? If I am the self, how come I don't know this? The reason here in this third chapter, what he says, with Swami Vidyaranya says, is this entire creation, according to the scriptures, is a lower nature. Like how is it? Like, for example, waker and a dreamer. When I wake up and claim my waking nature, the entire dream world vanishes. Similarly, there is another level which is called as Brahman, which is called as Turiya Avastha. I have to wake up to that, because I have ignorance about that today. That ignorance is called as Mula Avidya. I have ignorance about my higher nature. How do I get this knowledge? Only from the scriptures. Only from the scriptures I get this knowledge that there is higher nature called as pure self. Okay? So this technical analysis, this type of thinking process is important for us to go deeper within our brain, within our mind. I have given a little bit more details of verse-wise how these 43 verses are designed. Annamaya is in verses 3 and 4. General introduction is in verse 1 and 2. Then Pranamaya is not Atma, is taken up in verse 5. Manomaya is not Atma, is taken up in 6. Vijnanamaya is not Atma, is taken up in 7 to 9. We have done all these chapters. We have done this 43 verses before. This is just a summary. Then Anandamaya is not the self, is in verse number 10. Then Satyam Jnanam Brahma, Anantam Brahma is taken up again in between 13 to 36. That is the reality. Maya is discussed. What is Maya? Maya is a Shakti. Shakti of whom? That creator. That creator Shakti, that pure self has a Shakti, and that Shakti is called as Maya principle. With the Maya principle, that Ishwara gives us all the three states of experiences: waking, dream, sleep. Waking, dream, sleep. All the jivas are gone. They go through these three states throughout their life, have the experiences in the world, again take rebirth. That is how this whole world is designed. But there is the knowledge of pure self, which makes me come out of this cycle of birth and death. That is why we study Vedanta. As I keep studying different texts, my mind becomes purer and purer. Purer means there are certain impurities in the mind which needs to be taken out. And that comes out only by listening to the scriptures. So this is chapter 3. Then we did chapter 4, which was Dvaita Viveka Prakaranam. Dvaita Viveka Prakaranam is 69 verses. And here we covered 7 topics. This is the chapter where we did, if you recollect, we did Ishwara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. So the first the author defined there are 2 types of Dvaitam. Dvaita means experience of the subject and object. What are the 2 types? One is Ishwara Dvaitam, another is Jiva Dvaitam. Ishwara Srishti, Jiva Srishti. Ishwara Srishti is what? It was discussed from verse 2 to 13. Ishwara Srishti is creation of the Jiva and the Jagat. What about Jiva Dvaitam? The Jiva Dvaitam is, as per my prarabdha, I have the knowledge and I enjoy being a karta and a bhokta. Being a karta means doer. Bhokta means enjoyer. So a jiva is a doer of actions and enjoyer of actions. Whatever is the actions you perform, there is a result of action, which is what the jiva enjoys. How does this happen? As per the prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma means that a jiva has got sanchita, prarabdha, and agami karmas. Karma means karma phalam. I have to come into this world to enjoy certain experiences. It can be of both joy, joyful, or sorrow. Whatever a jiva enjoys in his own mind, that is what is called as Jiva Srishti. Whatever is happening outside my mind, it is not called as Jiva Srishti, it is called as Ishwara Srishti. So, Jiva Dvaitam is Bandha Karana. That was the next topic, the 4th topic in this chapter. Total is seven topics. So the 4th topic was about this. Why is this bondage? The bondage is mainly because of the I which is there in this body. It gets attached to the mind and the sense organs. This attachment gives rise to bondage. Okay. Then the fifth topic was from 38 to 66 of this chapter. How do I get rid of this bondage? And the author says there is only one method, which is Brahma Jnanena Jiva Advaita Nivirti. I have to know the knowledge of my own higher nature, which is called as Brahma Vidya. Why is it called Brahma Vidya? Because it is the substratum of all the three. Jiva, Jagat, Ishwara. There is one adhishtanam, substratum. That substratum is called as the higher nature. So the Jiva has got Mala and Vikshepa. Mala means impurities. Vikshepa means projections. These two together is called as the avidya in every jiva's mind. Avidya means ignorance. So the ignorance expresses as I don't know myself. Because I don't know myself, I project I am this body. I am this mind. What part of the body is sorrowful? It is the mind. So the pure consciousness which is there in this body, which is a reality, has the ignorance. Therefore, it says, I am suffering. All our study of Panchadasi or any text in Vedanta is to remove this ignorance. How do we remove this ignorance? There are different methods which Swami Vidyaranya has prescribed in this chapter. Number one is Viveka. Viveka means discrimination. We have studied this in Vivek Chudamani. I discriminate in me what is something which is always there and what is it which is never changing. See, it is always there is Nitya Swarupa. Never changing is Nirvikara Swarupa. If you want to find this out in yourself, you should ask, what part of me is never changing? Number one, it cannot be the body. Body was very small, now it has become very big. Take the mind. It cannot be the mind. Because mind is changing every day. Every minute it's changing. So there is a third element in this body which is called as the consciousness or awareness. That is the central focus of all Upanishads. They are trying to reveal this adhishtanam, awareness principle, consciousness principle. That is called as the reality. What is unreal then compared to this reality, which is always existing, always conscious? What is changing? Body. That is called as unreal in technical language. Anatma. Mind is anatma. Body, physical body is anatma. World is also anatma, which is experienced by the sense organs in the body. Okay. So the first method, see how beautiful structure of Vidyaranya is. See, he describes the different, this is one of the beautiful chapters of Panchadasi. So it clearly shows me the path of differentiation. Then the second method which is brought about is Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha Bhavana means look at the opposite of what you think you are. Pratipaksha means opposite nature. I think I am temporary, incidental. What is the opposite nature? I am permanent. I am nityaha. So if my mind keeps on thinking there is no death for me, there is always, death is only for the body, not for the consciousness. That is what is called as Pratipaksha Bhavana. The third method is prayer, prarthana. Okay, prarthana. Prarthana means praying to the Lord and say, give me this knowledge, clear knowledge about the Atma. The fourth method is sankalpaha. Sankalpaha means I take a oath saying that I will work towards getting this jnanam. I take a vow and say, I will follow 3 methods to realize myself. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. So that is what is called as a decision, determination. Sankalpaha means determination, decision making, that I will work towards this. This is one of the methods towards this moksha. The last one is satsangaha, being in the company of like-minded people. For example, you come to the class, you discuss with the group. This is called as satsanga, which is described very beautifully in the 16th and 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Then the sixth topic here in this is phalam. What is the phalam? What is the fruit of all this teaching, learning? There must be some benefit, and that benefit is called as Jivan Mukti. The thought that I am a Jiva goes away. That is what is called as the fruit of the study of Vedanta. It is this individuality which is the problem, the ego. Jivan Mukti means dropping the ego into the same universe and saying, I am not a part of this Jagat Prapancha, I am the pure consciousness. This is the ultimate way to freedom from identification, tadatmayam with the body and mind. Okay? And then 69th verse is the conclusion. Know the nature, know the cause, then you will know the entire secret of removing the impurities, gaining the values to attain liberation. So that's a very beautiful chapter of 69 verses titled Dvaita Viveka Praka. Dvaita means experience of duality. Duality means I am the subject, I am experiencing the world. That is what is called as duality. But what is the truth? Truth is Advaita. Advaita means what? Pure consciousness. With reference to pure consciousness, this world is called as Mithya. Mithya means lower order of reality. Like the dream and waker, when I claim I am the consciousness, it is the higher self. I am no longer called as Jiva, I am called as Atma. All of us, our real nature is this nature of the pure self, which is called as Atma. Okay? See how beautifully we have seen 3 chapters now. We have to do 2 more chapters, number 5, number 10. See how each chapter, Tattva Viveka, then Panchakosha Viveka, then Dvaita Viveka. See how we are moving and trying to realize that my higher nature is Advaitam. I am the pure self in which all these 5 koshas, the 3 avasthas are superimposed. Never try to drop the consciousness element. Okay, that is what is discussed in the 10th chapter, where we do Mahavakya analysis. Next, we will do the 5th chapter, where we do Mahavakya analysis. The 10th chapter is for Deepa Prakaranam. It is Swayam Jyoti Prakaranam. So 5th chapter is the Mahavakya Prakaranam. There are 8 verses in this chapter. It is the shortest chapter in the entire Panchadasi of 15 chapters. This is the shortest chapter. And we took this up for our analysis, for our study. What did we study in this chapter? The final truth. Jiva and Ishwara are of the same nature. Jiva, Jagat, Ishwara, they have one common substratum, and that is called as Brahman. 4 Upanishads were taken up. All the Mahavakya Upanishads were taken up in this chapter. See, Vidyaranya does a thorough analysis. In one chapter, he takes up all the 4 Upanishads, all the 4 Mahavakyas, and describes and discusses the truth being discussed in each of these verses. Quickly, I'll run through these verses. Aitareya Upanishad, there are 2 verses. Pradanika Upanishad, there are 2 verses. Chandogya Upanishad, 2 verses. Atharvana Veda, Mandukya Upanishad, there is 2 verses. What are the 2 verses? Number 1 and 2. Okay, first is the Rig Mantra. Rig Mantra is Prajnanam Brahma. Shukla Yajurveda is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Aham Brahmasmi. Samaveda Tattvamasi. These are all the Mahavakyas. Atharvana Veda is I am Atma Brahma, Mandukya Upanishad. These are the 4 Upanishads and the 4 Mahavakyams which are taken up. Each Mahavakyam, for example, if you take verse 1 and 2, Prajnanam Brahma is discussed. So what do we do? What is the analysis of this Mahavakyam? What is the fundamental structure of this analysis? In all the analysis of the 4 Mahavakyams, we should understand what is the Tathparyam, what is the central message. And the second thing we have to understand is this central message is there is one reality which is the source of happiness, it is a source of existence, it is a source of consciousness. One reality. In that reality, there is no world. It is only, it alone is. When I look at it from that reality, then this Jagat Avastha gets dissolved. That is what is described as Anupravesha, or in different Upanishad, it is also described as dissolution. When I become knowledgeable about that higher reality, then I identify with that as my real nature. That Bhagavan, which is of the nature of Sat-Chit-Ananda, is the adhishthanam, the substratum on which all these three avasthas, the pancha koshas, are just appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. In Manduk Upanishad, Shankaracharya Bhashyam says, this entire appearance and disappearance is like the rope snake example. Rope is the adhisthana. Brahman or Bhagavan is the adhisthana. But I don't know that nature. Therefore, I am thinking, my mind projects that this body is real. My mind projects, this mind is undergoing sufferings. But if I know that higher nature, this whole, the rope snake, which is the three avasthas, the pancha koshas, those are all dropped. This is how Mahavakya analysis. Mahavakya is the ultimate analysis when we do the spiritual study. Jivatma, in a simple way, how do I do this analysis? We take, for example, the individual, Jivatma. What does the individual consist of? The physical body, which is the Sharira. This has got three types: Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. In each of these Shariram, there is a reflection of pure consciousness. So there is a Vyashti body, which is the Jiva Shariram, and then there is a Samashti. Samashti is what? Prapancha Trayam. Prapancha Trayam means what? Sthula Prapancha, gross universe, Sukshma Prapancha, which means the subtle universe. Like we have the subtle body, the universe also has a subtle Prapancha. So, the samashti or the totality or what we call it as Ishwara, what we do in the Mahavakyas analysis, what does the Upanishad, how does it teach us? It says, you drop the three sharirams, drop the three prapanchas. What will remain? What remains is Sat-Chit-Ananda. This is how, in a very simple way, Mahavakyam analysis is done. What is the first Mahavakyam which everybody should understand? Prajnanam Brahma. Because that happens to be the nature of the self. What is the nature of self? Consciousness. That consciousness by which all the jnana indriyas and the karma indriyas function is called as prajnanam. See, this definition is very important to when you want to understand what is the higher nature. Prajnana means what? The power. Like electricity is the power in the bulb and it makes it glow. Similarly, this body and mind has got a power. That power is called as prajnanam. And that is the original consciousness. When this body has that consciousness, it is called as reflected consciousness. Like what? The mirror. When the mirror, you see a reflection. That reflection is seen because of what? The upadi, the medium called mirror. Similarly, I, the pure consciousness, when it gets reflected in the body-mind complex, that is called as reflected consciousness. That reflected consciousness, together with the body and mind, is the Jiva. Okay? So I, the Jiva, has to understand I have a pure nature, which is called as Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam means the consciousness in this body is Brahman. What is Brahman? The total consciousness in the entire universe. The moon gets illumined because of sunlight. This body gets illumined, it is functioning because of the light of consciousness. That Chit Swarupam is the power behind all bodies, not only your body, my body, every body, whether it is today or whether it was in the past or in the future, will have the same power. That was verse number 1. Verse number 2 continues with the same idea. It only talks about Chidabhasa and Chit. Chit means original. Chit Abhasa means reflection. Chit is Paramarthikam, higher self. Chidabhasa is Vyavaharikam, reflection, reflected consciousness is called as Vyavaharikam, transactional. This transactional is only for teaching purposes. Originally, there is only one. I am only using, the Upanishads is only using words, but reality is only one. So Jiva and Jagat and Ishwara, they are with limitations, but Prajnanam is pure, unlimited, unconditional. There is no limitations in consciousness. Okay? That was, I can talk for a long time in these Mahavakyams, but time is short, so I'm restricting myself to whatever I put in the slides. Because the entire Vedanta is all fully packed in these 4 verses, in these 8 verses. 4 Upanishadic mantras, 2 verses of Vidyaranya for each Mahavakya. Next we go to Aham Brahmasmi. What is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi? Aham means I am that Brahman. In the previous case, it was said Prajnanam is Brahman. That is saying the nature of consciousness. Here, what do? I claim that nature as my Swarupam. Brahadanika Upanishad 1.4 and 1.4.10. That original consciousness resides in this body as the Sakshi of all the thoughts in the mind. Whenever I experience my thoughts, experience has got 2 components. One is the seer, another is the seen. Seen is a thought, seer is the consciousness. What do I claim? The seer Prajnanam is me. That is what I claim. So a qualified adhikari means a person who has understood the Upanishads. He alone is a eligible person to claim this truth. Okay? And what is this consciousness? In the 10th chapter, it will be defined as Swayam Prakashaha. Always it is illumined, like the sunlight. Sunlight never has darkness. It's always there. That pure consciousness is my nature. When I claim that, it is not Vachyartha, it is called as Lakshyartha. It is a technical one. What do you mean by Lakshyartha? Lakshyartha means it is an indicative meaning. Consciousness separate. You see, physically I cannot separate. But in my mind, I can say it is the Lakshyartha of this I in this spot. Okay? Vachyartha means what? Transactional. For every transaction, reading, writing, listening, all this is Vachyartha. Transactional reality, absolute reality. Absolute reality is called as Lakshyartha. When that pure consciousness plays the role of Sakshi in this body-mind complex, it is called as Aham, I. What is this I? I in this body has got two meanings. One is, it is the body, mind, and which is called as Vachyartha, direct meaning. And that I has got another meaning. It is called as Sakshi or witness, and it is called as Lakshyartha. No Mahavakyam is understood without these two words, Vachyartha, Lakshya. Bhagatyaga Lakshana. These are all words to explain Mahavakya. That completes 3 and 4. 5. Tattvamasi, Chandogya Upanishad. 9 times the Upanishad says, you are that, you are that, you are that. You are what? You are that consciousness principle. You are that Karanam Brahma. You are not the body-mind complex. So here we should understand Karanam and Karyam. Body-mind is a Karyam. It's a product of the 5 elements. It is not the self. The self is Karanam. Jagat Karanam Brahma. That consciousness, that pure Brahman is the cause of this entire universe. So before this body mind, what was this Jiva? It was Paramatma. Then this body mind enclosure came in and it started interacting with the world, started crying as a baby. It became a Jiva. That consciousness enclosed in the body mind is called as Jiva. In sleep, what happens? This consciousness is not enclosed. This consciousness joins with the Paramatma. Unenclosed consciousness is called as Paramatma. Enclosed consciousness is Jiva. Unenclosed consciousness has no Bheda. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda. I hope it's clear. Sajatiya means there is no tree and tree. Sajati. Animal and animal. Sajati. Vijati means tree and animal. The differences between two animals, the difference between animal and a tree, these are all examples for Sajatiya, Vijatiya. Swagata Bheda means a tree has got parts. But consciousness does not have any of these 3 differences. Okay? Tatvamasi is again, like I said, I can go on and on in these 8 verses, but just to give you a broad picture is what I have, what I'm trying to do. But Panchadasi is a very, very beautiful text. You can pick up any chapter for study. Consciousness associated with the body has got past, present, and future, but pure consciousness has no past, present, and future because it is timeless. It is changeless. It is always the same. The last 2 verses are 7 and 8. They belong to Mandukya Upanishad. I am Atma Brahma. This Atma in this body is Brahman. See, the focus of Mahavakya is there is a changeless factor in this body. Again, I'm repeating what I said right in the beginning. Changeless means it is nityaha, timeless, always there. And that is what I am searching all the time. When you go through this Mahavakya study in this way, each one of us will realize this Atma. I give you guarantee. So this is Pratyak. Pratyak means it is the innermost self in the 5 koshas. That is said in the 7th verse. 8th verse talks about how this innermost self and the innermost self of the universe is the same principle. Because it is the same, that is my Swarupa. I go back to my Swarupa when I drop identification. In sleep, I drop my identification. But in sleep, am I a Jiva? No, I am Paramatma, I am Brahman. That is why it is said, I am Atma Brahma. Always that consciousness is available to me, whether the universe is available or not, that is a different matter. But I am there. That is what is to be claimed as the self. Okay? So with this, I will stop here today. I thought I can complete the last chapter also. But next week, I will take up this 10th chapter of 26 verses. So this will complete the 5 chapters which we have taken. After that, I plan to do these 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 11 to 50. Okay? After I do the 10th chapter, this is what I'm planning to do. These we have not done. We have not done the 6th chapter, we have not done the 7th chapter, 8th chapter, 9th chapter, 11 to 15 we have not done. Number of verses are 1215, 51. Okay, and there are notes available, another 1500 pages. Of course, I'm sure you will not be reading it, but anyways, there are some people who write to me and they get these notes and they read it also. And then they have clarifications and so on. So we'll continue this next week and I'll stop here. So chapter 10, slide number 19, we'll take it up next week. Like I said, we will continue like this, just something, learn the essence of Vedanta through the eyes of Vidyaranya in Panchadasi. So I have finished today's session. There are 6 more sessions, 8th, 15th, 22nd, 29th, 4 sessions in this month. And then next in December, 2 sessions. Totally in 6 sessions, whatever we can do of Panchadasi, we'll continue to do it. Okay? Om Namada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudacchade Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti. 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 Okay, so I don't see any questions on the chat board. If you have any questions or any remarks on what we are doing about our today's session, if you have anything to say, you can unmute yourself and you can speak. Nice to see you, Deepak.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you. So what is the what will be the next after this revision? What will we be doing now?
Yeah, see, right now we are in the process of revising what we have learned so far. We have already done 4 chapters. Only one more chapter remains to be revised.
Yes.
That is chapter 10, which is the Swayam Jyoti Deepa. That means, consciousness, which is always self-luminating. Okay, so that is the 10th chapter of Panchadasi. I will revise that next week. After that, I will be doing the other chapters which I have not taken up. I will give you a bird's eye view of the other chapters. There are 10 other chapters. I will give you a synopsis of those 10 chapters. That is what I plan to do in the next 6 sessions, to give you a bird's eye view of other chapters of Panchadasi. Today is the 90th session of Panchadasi. 2 years we have done Panchadasi.
We started with chapter 10, actually.
Yeah, we started with chapter 10 and ending with chapter 10, so that you have a revision of what we have finished. So it has taken us 2 years to finish 5 chapters. So if I continue in this fashion, it will take 6 more years to finish Panchadasi. So I said, let me take a break. I will finish Panchadasi on the 13th of December. From the 14th of December till the 13th of January, there will be no sessions. So we will take a break of 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
So I'll be traveling during that time. So I won't be here in Singapore. That's why there will be no sessions for 4 weeks. On the 14th of January, we are going to start Mandukya Upanishad. For the whole of 2024, we will be doing Mandukya Upanishad. So Mandukya Upanishad has got 4 chapters. And there are 229 verses in Mandukya. So slowly we'll try to do each chapter by chapter. And, the first chapter has got 28 verses, 29 verses. Second chapter has got some 38 verses.
We have done Mandukya, but we have also finished Mandukya.
We have done Mandukya Upanishad in the Wednesday group before.
Yes.
But that was not a verse by verse.
Not verse by.
Now we are going to do the verse by verse and also the karikas.
Karikas.
The commentary on Mandukya Upanishad by Gaudapada Acharya. We will be doing that. We have never done that in our classes at all. It's the first time I'm doing Mandukya. It's an extremely difficult exercise to teach Mandukya. I'm going to make an attempt. Whoever is able to understand it's a very, very technical Upanishad, but whatever it is, let us try to go. It will be a very, very deep study.
It's very good, sir.
It's a very deep study of the best Upanishad out of all the 10, 12 Upanishads. This is the best, and this is regarded as the most difficult Upanishad to understand also. But we will try. We'll try to see how we can learn this Upanishad. So from the 14th, which is a Sunday, so I'm changing the Wednesday sessions to a Sunday session. On Sunday, Singapore time will be 7 o'clock. It will be India time 4:30. Okay, so 4:30 on a Sunday evening, 4:30 to say 5:30, 6 o'clock will be the talks in 2024. So
So Wednesday changes to Sunday, and Saturday remains.
Yeah.
Saturday remains same
Saturday
time?
remains the same time, no change. So Saturday I'll continue the Taittiriya Upanishad. After Taittiriya Upanishad, I'll be doing Kathopanishad. During 2024, right now I'm doing Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashyam, commentary. So I will try to finish that. Once I finish that, I will start with Kathopanishad on Saturday. Mandukya will be on Sundays. It will take the whole of 2024. And it's going to be a very interesting, very interesting.
Good. I'd love to go through this.
Good.
I've done this, but I will do it again.
Yeah. You will find a lot of things you will learn in this Upanishad which you have never learned before.
No, it's absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else has a question?
Sekhaji. The Wednesday class will be on Sundays next year, right?
Yeah, the new year. Till December, it will continue. Wednesday session will continue till the 13th or 13th of December is the last Wednesday session.
So okay. the new one will be from 7 to on Sunday?
Sunday 7 to 8:30.
7 to 8:30, yeah. Okay.
Okay, 7 o'clock will start, 8:30 will stop.
7 to 8:30 p.m.
See, now we are doing 6:30 to 7, around 6:30 to 7:30. And at that time it will be from 7 to 8 o'clock will be our session, and 8 to 8:30 roughly around that time we will have our meditation also.
Okay, thank you, Sekhaji.
Thank you.
Write it down.
Okay, Lalita is asking this. At the time of meditation, we must concentrate on Chaitanya. Correct, you're right. We must say, I am the Chaitanyam. I am the pure consciousness. I am the awareness principle. This is one thing which you have to repeat again and again in meditation. You may think about other things, but this consciousness, I am the consciousness, repeat it 10 times during meditation. Let it come again. I am pure self. I am Atma. I am Atma. Atma, what is the meaning of Atma? I have known from the Upanishadic study. Because from the Upanishadic study, my mind will automatically go to that pure self. The moment you say Atma in meditation, when you close your eyes, anytime you can sit in a garden and you can say, I am Atma. You can sit, you can lie in your bed and say, I am Atma. For doing Vedantic meditation, there is no posture required. You can do it in any posture. For other things, you will require posture. For pranayama or for doing asanas and all that, you will require posture. But for Vedantic meditation, no posture is important. You can just, only your mind is important. With the help of your mind, today we are using the mind to worry about the future, to think about all our past. What Veda says is, convert that worrying mind into Atma mind. So that is the transformation. The moment I'm able to change that, it happens. I'm telling you, it really happens. All our mind is gross. It never doesn't know this subtle truth. The moment my mind gets exposed to this truth, that is what Ramana Maharishi did throughout his life. Ramana Maharishi was a great Vedanta. He understood the Veda. From the Upanishad, he understood the truth. And then the whole life he spent on, I am that Atma. I am that Atma. in silence. To know the self and to realize the self, you don't need even anything. In fact, no need of body. Ultimately, when you what really happens is this is called as savikalpa samadhi. When you say mentally, I am Atma, it is called as savikalpa. That means you are using your mind and changing the composition of your mind. After some time, automatically when you close your eyes, your mind will stop and it will be with Atma. That is called as nirvikalpa self. Nirvikalpa. There is no kalpa, there is no change in your mind. That means your knowledge has gone into the subconscious. In conscious mind, there are thoughts floating. In subconscious mind, there is no more thoughts. What exists is the pure self. All the Upanishads, they want you to reach this level first with the help of study. What you have to do is first identify that truth which is there in the body and mind complex, which is called as Sakshi, which is called as Brahman. And then there is a lot of things said about this Sakshi in the Upanishads. Like in Mandukya, we're going to see a lot of new things which you have never heard before. So we'll do that. So to answer your question, our Atma is this. Okay, the next part of your analysis is our Atma is the same in all our births. That's correct. When you say all our births means what? Birth of the body. Okay, Atma remains the same. It is the light of consciousness in which waking has come, dream has come, sleep has come, body has come, body will go, another body will come. All where? In consciousness. Now, the next point is at the time of death, the Sukshma Shariram takes the Karana Shariram along with it. Correct. Does the Chaitanyam go along with it? Absolutely right. There is no Sukshma Shariram without the reflected consciousness. Here, it is not the Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam means you're talking about pure self. You should say Chid Abhasa. Goes along with the Karana Shariram and Sukshma Shariram. Okay? So, the mind leaves the causal body, that means the Punya Papam, which is invisible. You can't see it. Both that, it goes along with the reflected consciousness. It is always there with reflected consciousness, because without that, there is no Sukshma Shariram, because Sukshma Shariram by itself is Jadam. See, Sukshma Shariram consists of prana, then it consists of the Indriyams, the Pancha Indriyams, then it consists of the mind. They are all in very subtle form. This is what Lord Krishna said in the 15th chapter. He gives you one or two verses there which tells you what happens to the Sukshma Shariram when it leaves the body. Utkramantam sthitam vapi munjana mangunanvitam. See, these are all the verses which tells you that the Sukshma Shariram leaves the body. Even in Chandogya Upanishad, this is exactly what is said. This gives us the cycle of birth and death. What leaves, what is. See, a very simple thing we should understand. These are all common experiences, but we never inquire into the common experience. In our waking state, we see this gross body. And we see this world. The problem is that our mind always thinks whatever I'm experiencing is the reality. This is the problem. I never inquire, who am I in my sleep state? 8 hours I'm sleeping. 16 hours I'm awake. 8 hours I'm sleeping. In the sleep state, I do not experience the body. I do not experience the world, which means what? I have the flexibility to drop this body. What is the meaning of that? I disidentify with this body. And I identify with what? In my dream state, I identified only with the mind, which is projecting. That means there is some Shakti in this body which can identify, disidentify. In the deep sleep state, what happens? That Shakti drops identification with the Sukshma Shariram also. And then it remains alone as the Karana Sharira, deep sleep state. There is no Jagat, there is no Swapna, only Sushupti. That Sushupti Avastha is called as Ajnanam. It is called as the ignorant state. Why is it called ignorant state? Because it doesn't know the nature of Atma. In that, all the Vedantic study is meant to wake you up from that sleep state into your real nature, which is Turiyam, which is Brahman. If you come to realize that, and this realization is only possible in the waking state, not in the sleep state. In the waking state, I get the flexibility to drop the gross body. Because anyway I do it. In my sleep state, I drop my physical body. That is why the pancha koshas are also dropped. In meditation, this is the exercise we do. We have the flexibility, that is our nature. Our mind can drop this body identification, and once this mind, with the help of the scriptures, it understands that the real nature of this mind is not attached to the three bodies, but it is attached to the self. The self is called as Turiyam. That self is called as Brahman. And then once you remain, see what happens is, then what happens because of this knowledge? What is the knowledge? What is the source of this knowledge? Only Veda. How do I know that I am the pure consciousness beyond the sleep state? Only the Veda tells me this. So the Veda is the Pramanam. With the help of the Vedic Pramanam, the instrument of knowledge, that mind which is a gross mind becomes a subtle mind. It becomes subtle mind, and then it can have the vision of the truth. All jnanis have got the vision of Brahman. They all have the vision of God. They know the exact nature of God. Not with a form, formless God. You and I can also have the same vision because we have to use the instrument. The instrument is what? Veda. Mahavakyas, what we are studying. The moment we use the instrument, with the help of the instrument, you will see the same whatever Shankaracharya saw, the same with any jnani, any saint, what Ramana Maharishi saw in his own self. You and I can experience the same because the truth is the same. Instrument is the same. Okay, good. Very good question. It's a very deep question. I'm glad you've thought so deeply. Good. Anybody else?
Mr. Shekhar.
Yeah.
Jacqueline here.
Yeah, Jacqueline.
I think I have asked this question before. During sleep stage, yes, we don't know anything. And as a human, we cannot say we sleep forever. And during sleep stage, where are we? The reason I ask such a question because only during sleep stage, you get rid of all your, you are not thinking you are at a stationary. I mean, not yeah. I mean, the body functioning, with the rest of the thing, but the mind is not functioning, and everything is. That's why you can sleep it, and nobody is being. I mean, as a human, it's not being bothered. And where are we when we are sleeping? Often enough, yes, we say that we should, whether we should or we should not. But as a human being, at a stage that you are Brahman, things being subtle, all the sorrow, happiness, not so, even it's happiness, you won't be jumping high and low, and sorrow. But then because it's a human being, even I say I'm Brahman, it come back. So that is the challenging part as a human being. Yeah. So we cannot say we sleep forever. We sleep forever, that means we are not in this world anymore. Yeah. So it's an acceptance. But then where are we when we sleep to have that kind of acceptance, cool and calm during awake?
Okay, good question. See, this is a question which has been asked in Prashna Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad is one Upanishad where there are 6 disciples. Jacqueline is one of the disciples of Prashna Upanishad. She is asking the same question which was asked by a seeker in Prashna Upanishad. Where do Jivas reside when they are asleep? That is a question asked in the Upanishad. If you open up the Upanishad, you will get that answer. In that Upanishad, the entire nature of sleep and dream is explained. According to Vedanta, what happens to you in sleep and in dream? You see, in that Upanishad, it says that this Jiva, which thinks it is the mind or the body in the waking state, it drops the waking state, the body is controlled, it is given off to the prana. The prana takes over the body, the physical body. That means I, which is identified with the body in the waking state as Jacqueline, I drop connection with this body, I hand over the body to the prana principle. Prana principle means the breath which is going on in this body. Number one. All of us, it's a natural process. You don't have to say, I will hand it over tonight to prana and all that. It is a natural process. This is how God has created all of us, all human beings. So first thing is, the body is handed over. Now, what happens to the mind? According to the Upanishad, this is also said in Chandogya Upanishad. The same, exactly the reply comes in Chandogya also in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This Jiva, which is identified as the mind, which is the subtle body consists of prana also. The subtle body consists of the mind also. The subtle body, this mind has got the office. Where does this mind operate from? You and I go to the office and operate. Similarly, the mind, our mind has got a locus from where it operates. That locus is called as the heart. Our heart is the locus. Whenever you're thinking something, it is the locus means it is the area in which it functions from. Normally we say we function from the head, but the mind's locus is the heart, hridayam. What happens is the mind which we experience, a conscious mind which we experience as a mental state, it goes through one of the nadis which you have known in yoga principle called as the Sushumna nadi. It goes and rests in the heart. In that nadi, see, such a subtle principle. When it is active in that nadi there are two states. In one nadi, it goes to sleep. In another nadi, it dreams. All the dreaming which we do, the projections of thoughts, our vasanas in sleep, everything happens through that nadi. It is there is no other substitute for the word nadi. It is like a nerve, but it is the subtlest thing in our body. So there's one nadi where we go and rest. That is, in the nadi, the mind rests. And in another nadi, we dream. The mind throws up all its projections in the nadi. That means in one of the nadis, which is not a nerve, it is the capillary or through which the mind flows. Okay. So to answer your question, very simply speaking, my mind is in a dormant condition. Wherever is the locus, don't worry about it. You cannot pinpoint that. It is invisible. You can't say that this is the place. But in general, what we can say is the mind is resting. Mind is active. Mind is resting somewhere in the body, and we don't experience the world. That is one condition. Completely, it is resting, and that resting place is also called as Karana Sharira, because it goes into Avyakta Avastha. Avyakta means unmanifest condition of the world. See, the world which we see today with our sense organs, it has got two states. One is Vyaktam. Vyaktam means manifest. Right now, the world is manifest for us. Manifest means what? It is seen by the sense organs. Experienced by the sense organs. You see, eyes are seeing form. Ears are listening to the talk. The mind is functioning through these sense organs, and we are able to call this as the world. We live in the same world, and in another condition, which is called as the sleep condition, which is unmanifest condition. Beyond this manifest and unmanifest condition is this Atma. Atma doesn't have two conditions. It is always the same. But the manifest and unmanifest conditions are witnessed by Atma. So you should not stop with only the mind. I've given you the answer for the mind about dream, sleep, and all that. But what the Veda says is, understand I am not the mind, I am the witness of the mind. Mind has gone to sleep, mind has, sleep is nothing but it is called as the ignorance of the waking state. Shankaracharya defines in Manduk Upanishad, what is sleep? I am ignorant of the waking state of the gross prapancha. That's all. That is what is called as ignorance. That is what is called as ignorance. So when I am actually ignorant of this waking world, it is called as sleep. I have to wake up from that sleep and say, I am that pure consciousness which is aware of this absence of the world. So absence of the world and presence of the world, who is that witness? Who is that? There is some principle. Because as soon as I wake up in the morning, I remember, oh, I was asleep. Because I am aware of the sleepful condition and I recollect that sleepful condition, in my waking state, Shankaracharya says there has to be a continuous principle which is called as the Atma, Thuriyam I, Brahman, whatever name you can give it, God, Ishwara, whatever name you can call it. There has to be a continuous, changeless principle. That changeless principle is my real nature. Once I am able to know that and hold on to that, I'm liberated. There's no more Jiva Bhava for me. My mind is so clear. I am very clear. Especially after Mandukya Upanishad, if once you do that, many of your doubts will get answered. Okay, thank you. Good question, Jacqueline.
You know what, Mr. Shekhar? I think I am a bit clear, but then it came back and then it disturbed again. And therefore,
That's correct. You will experience this because of what? Thoughts in your mind.
yeah, because I thought I am quite clear, quite calm.
Yes.
But then
Good.
things come back and disturb.
See, this will keep on happening for some more time. But after some time, your mind will hold on to this pure consciousness as the self, and it will drop the mind as the non-self. It is anatma. This, whatever you are saying that, I know what you're saying. I know I can experience it. I know that's what I am.
Exactly.
But I can't express it to you because there is no words to describe that.
Okay, appreciate.
Thank you. Good, Jacqueline. Okay, any other questions?
Secondly,
Bolo.
the subject sleep state, as you say, is it we are with the Lord or something like that?
Yes, we are with the Lord. We are with Bhagavan. We are with the creator of this universe. The Prashna Upanishad clearly says that in the sleep state, you are with Ishwara.
And
Every day. So nobody can say, I have not experienced Ishwara. Nobody can say, but they don't know that that is what is Ishwara, because that is formless. It is formless. You see, it has got the three Veda is not there. In that consciousness, there is no differences at all. So we are with Bhagavan in our sleep, and through this knowledge, you accept it as a fact. Don't question it again. That's all. You see, our mind keeps on one day thinking, but how is it possible? Tomorrow morning you'll wake up and say, I told Mr. Shekhar that I will be with Bhagavan, but then how is it possible? In the morning you'll ask me. So that you have to have that faith. Have the faith and just live with that thought. See, whatever the Veda teaches us is like a mother teaching a child. That is why Shruti is called as mother. Mother Shruti. Mother will give us the right advice for all of us. This advice is very, very divine advice. It is not a simple, normal, things of the world, but this is a spiritual one. And in the spiritual world, there are certain things only the Shruti, mother, can teach us. I accept Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and I take with full faith. Okay, good. Thank you.
How do we, Secondly, how do we say that we wake up automatically after a certain time?
Yeah, you see, we wake up because Ishwara Bhagavan wakes us up. This world which I am waking, which I am wakeful of, which I am experiencing, who is the controller of the sleep? Who is the controller of our dream? Who is the controller of this waker also? It is this Bhagavan only. That Bhagavan has got a power, Shakti. That Bhagavan has got the, see, you have a Shakti to go to sleep, correct? You have a power. How do you sleep? Because there is some Shakti, power in this body. All of us have that power. This is called as Nidra Shakti. This is called as the Shakti of a Jiva. But Bhagavan, Ishwara, has got a bigger Shakti. That bigger Shakti makes all of us get up from our sleep. That is why he is called as Karma Phala Data. He gives us the fruits of our karmas in our waking state. Again, he puts us back to sleep. He says, now it's enough. You had enough of the talk today. Again, go back to sleep.
Well,
Come back to your natural life. And
Yes.
wait, I have another question.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Jacqueline.
Yeah. Well, no, it's interesting, the Ishwaras that wake you up. It's interesting because I have a few occasions that I say, let's say Sunday I have to go somewhere, or Wednesday, Thursday I have to go somewhere. I say, okay, early in the morning. So I say, okay, if I'm being awake, automatically I will go. If I'm not, then I don't go. But interestingly, that it seems that Ishwara is waking me up with unconditioned, without alarm clock. I just wake up and I have to go.
Yeah.
No,
See,
it's
all of us is the same. See, that is the nature of this waking world. Waking world means morning to evening, you're doing some actions. That's all. Each one's actions are different. Your action is different than mine. My action is different than Deepak's. Deepak's action is different than Ajita's and Sumana's, and so on. So there is some controller in this universe. I can't see that controller, but I have full faith that that controller is controlling everyone. He is the controller
the only
of the
thing-
whole world. That is why he is called as Maheshwara.
What is Maya Ishwara?
Maheshwara means he is Maha Ishwara. That means he is the Lord of everybody.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Whether you know it or not, he is the Lord. That's it.
Because this will be explained in Mandukya very well. The waker and the
Yes.
wake world, dream
Correct.
and dream
In
world.
the sixth mantra of Mandukya, it is
Deep
there.
sleep and void, where the
Me-
causal bodies abide in Turiyam,
Correct.
wakes up as I.
Yes.
Mr. Shekhar, the Jiva that you're talking about is the soul, right, in English?
Correct. The soul means it is the mind with the reflected consciousness.
Okay. The good thing is if we don't have the mind, but we cannot not to have a mind as a human being, then it's not functioning.
Correct. You see, you can't take the role. You can't take the role of God when you are a jiva.
The mind also, we have to be careful, because mind also is antarkarna. It's got memory, intellect, and
Yes.
ankara, three aspects that coalesce to become the what we call the mind. And the mind and the body becomes the jiva, the I, sakshi, that gives light to this consciousness.
I have another question, okay? The interesting part is, let's say you're awakened, right? And are you saying that if you're awakened, right, Shankaracharya and Rama, are you saying that everything they're okay?
For them, everything is okay. Yes. You also wake up to their level. You will also, everything is okay.
You mean the sorrow that they have, the happiness, they just say, okay.
They don't have any sorrow. They don't identify with their mind at all.
It's interesting, it's super powerful. Then it's
That's
like,
correct. That is what you and I are searching also for. That is what is called as moksha. That is what is called as freedom.
and their money will just come in, plop in for whatever they need to.
The whole world is available to them. The whole world is, it's a different mindset, altogether different mindset.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Appreciate.
So
Secretary,
I'll close here, or anybody else has anything?
Secretary, that means when we are in a deep sleep, and when we come back to the world again, we ask ourselves, where were we within that 3 hours or 4 hours of sleep?
Correct. That's right. That is the question you should ask.
Uh,
In that sleep state, who am I? With who? Where was I? What was my nature? You see, I think this body, I see this class, I see this world, I see this beautiful world, but is this all in this world, or there is something higher? See, this is where the seeker in us gets ignited. Our mind starts thinking, and that thinking process slowly grows as we study Veda more and more. Upanishads we study. See, for example, we have done 90 classes of Panchadasi. Our mind has got purified to a certain level. Now, next year, we are going to do completely only Mandukya Upanishad. Okay? So this is the way to this is a way to grow. See, we have all come into this world. We don't know when we will go out of this world. But when we are in this world, let us try to understand the scriptures which teach me who I am. Let us give the chance to the scriptures to teach me. Okay? Thank you. I'll stop here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om, Venkatesh.
Yeah, wonderful, nice, good stuff.
Yeah. We have another 6 sessions to go in Panchadasi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question answer session.
Very good. This type of question answer sessions you don't get anywhere else, you know.
Yeah. It is
Hari Om,
empowering.
Shekharji. Wonderful sessions. Very,
you.
very lovely discussions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very nice. Yes.
So
Thank
much.
you. Namaste. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Secretary.
Hari Om. Thank you.